Sorry, home. What's up? Welcome to the Vegas Benchwarmer channel. This is the Benchwarmer podcast. My name is Eric. He hate me 702, and we are back. Looks like I'm probably going to be single today. Not sure what's going on with Sam. He might be doing something. Jeremy, I have not heard from. I think he's sleeping. And Mo is probably doing something else. So not sure what's going on. Let me just check real quick. All right. So today we're going to talk about some stuff. We're going to get into our predictions for the wild card round. So we're going to get into where we were wrong. We're going to get into where we were right. And then we're going to get into the divisional picks. Also talk about some of the stuff that we had actually talked about that kind of came true and kind of didn't come true. And we're going to have some fun time. So I hope everybody has had a great week. Please like and subscribe. Share all that good YouTube stuff because it really helps us out with the algorithm. And let's get started. All right. So, do I have? So, where we were wrong in, well, first of all, let's talk about the NFL wild card results, right? So, Rams versus the Panthers, 34-31. That was a lot closer of a game than I assumed it would be. So I was right with the winner, but I thought it was going to be a blowout. I did not think it was going to be a close game. A lot better than what I thought it was. Wild card weekend actually was pretty good in my opinion. It was one of those. Not every game was good. There was a couple games that weren't really good, but the games that were good were really good, and most of them seemed like they started to go down to the wire. So thank you NFL for that. And then, so yeah, the Rams beat the Panthers. Got that. Then we got the Bears beating the Packers. That was an unusual game. I was playing basketball, left the basketball courts, saw the score was 21-3, and was like, hey, game's over. Got back home, took a shower, looked at the score, and somehow the Bears came back and won. Rewatched the highlights and everything, and yeah, not sure about that one. And then, of course, we had the Bills and the Jaguars, a very, very good game from start to finish. Bills showed their experience in that game. Very good game all around. Then we also have 49ers and Eagles. Good game. Then we had the Patriots and the Chargers, which was a horrible game. And we had the Texans and Steelers, which was a horrible game for most of the game. Yeah, so some of the games are good, some of them were not. So let's get into NFL wild card where we were wrong. Okay, so as a total, myself, I went 1, 2. I went 2 and 4. I was wrong a lot. Jeremy went. Sam went 5 and 6. Jeremy went 2 and 4. So Jeremy and I went 2 and 4. Sam went 5 and 1. 4 and 2. Sorry, 4. Yeah, 5 and 1. Sam went 5 and 1, and I went 2 and 4. So first game where we all picked the Jags. All of us picked the Jags versus the Bills. We were wrong. We were wrong on that. The Bills came through. They showed their you could say championship medal, even though they don't have a championship, but they showed their experience. Josh Allen had a very, very good game. Craziest thing to me was the 10-yard quarterback sneak. That was amazing. That 10-yard quarterback sneak was absolutely fabulous. They needed to have it. I love that the lineman came and picked him up and was like, hey, you're not falling down on my watch. I need shave. That you're not falling down on my watch. Love that. Game overall was really, really good. The what was it? The Trevor Lawrence and Jags played really well. They were running the ball extremely well. Just at the end, stuff happens. They had a chance. Hit the wrong button. They had a chance. They tried to do what they could do. And unfortunately, they did not get it done. So we had all picked the Jags against the Bills. And then that was the only game that we picked the same. So where was I wrong? I was wrong on a lot of games. I was wrong on the Packers game. Fuck the Packers. The Packers should have won that game. Um, the Vegas sportsbooks had them favored. They were up most of the game. What was it? 7 points were missed by their kicker, an extra point and 2 field goals. So yeah, Packers should have won that game. Horrible game. I'm not sure what's going on with the Matt LaFleur talk. I know his contract is up next year, so if they don't come to an extension, then something might happen. I'm just a weird day with all the head coaches. Where else was I wrong? I was wrong on the Jacks. I'm all in on the Bills right now. I don't think I'm going to pick against the Bills for the rest of the playoffs. That may suck for Bills fans, but watching that game to me is the start of one of these fabulous playoff runs. I don't think that I'm not saying 100% that the Bills are going to win the Super Bowl, but I think this is the playoff appearance that Josh Allen takes over. He played very, very well. Did what he needed to do for them to win. He went under the blue tent twice. So as long as he can stay healthy, I definitely think that this is the start of a fantastic drive. Kind of like the Joe Flacco and the Baltimore Ravens when they went to the Super Bowl. I think that's what we're about to see with the Bills. Where else was I wrong? I was wrong on the Chargers game. I was very, very close on the score. No, I wasn't. The score I predicted it was gonna be a horrible game. It was 16-13 was the score I predicted, but they ended up winning 16-3. I thought the Chargers would win. The Pats, I don't know what to think of that game, the Pats or the Chargers, because the Chargers do what the Chargers do in the playoffs, and I can't really say that the Pats looked really, really well, really good. Where else was I wrong? The Steelers. Um, I was really wrong on the Steelers. Aaron Rodgers looked old as fuck. Remember, there's times in an athlete that is older where they just look old. Aaron Rodgers looked old. He could have looked. He's been looking old all season, but he couldn't move in the pocket. That defense was putting pressure on him. He couldn't get out of the way. So I was completely wrong on that. I was hoping that Aaron Rodgers would pull off something and Mike Tomlin would get more than just a first round exit. But this is what happens in the NFL any given Sunday. And Mike Tomlin is now no longer the head coach of the Steelers. Weird head coaching cycle. We can get into that a little bit later. So that's where I was wrong. Where was I right? The 49ers. I was right on the 49ers game. Yeah, I picked the Rams, but I wasn't right on the Rams game because I thought that would be a blowout. So since I thought that would be a blowout and it's not, I was basically wrong on almost every single game. Going back and rewatching our prediction video, Sam was dead on like all of his picks. Rams, Bears, Jags, Pats, Texans. Yes, he was wrong on the Jags, but when you go back and rewatch his explanation for the reason why he picked it, oh, he was really, really good. So really honestly, I was the worst one. Where were we right? So let me go back to the bed. Where were we right? So the one thing we were right about with Jeremy said one of the craziest things against the 49ers and the Eagles. He basically said he was going with the 49ers, but he said if George Kittle breathes wrong or sneezes wrong, he gets injured. And as you guys all know, George Kittle did get injured and he is out for the year. That might be the end of his career. We don't know. But I watching the video back, I saw that and I was like, oh, yeah, that's kind of crazy. He is 100% right there. And then George Kittle got injured. So as a team, as together, we were right on the 49ers. We all picked the 49ers over the Eagles. Basically, what we thought was happened, what we thought was going to happen, kind of happened. Um, we were also right on, well, they were right on the Texans. Um, I was wrong because I was picking with my heart, not my head. But Jeremy and Sam were right with the Texans. So both of them said, Aaron Rodgers doesn't have it, which I just admitted when I said I was wrong, and that the Texans defense was extremely well. Speaking of the Texans defense, I saw something on First Things First where Nick Wright said something, and it kind of made sense to me. The Texans or Denver defense, they are so good that they could be one of those teams that sends them for a run. Like that defense propels them to a playoff run. He mentioned some names like the Ravens, the Tampa Bay Bucks. I forgot what other team it was. There's a couple more recent teams. But yeah, that defense is so good now with Nico Collins going down in the offense. I'm not 100% positive on that one. I don't know how they're going to go moving forward, especially since they're about to play that other good defense, another good defense in the Patriots with the very very good offense and possibly an MVP candidate. And he is an MVP candidate, but possibly the MVP in Drake May. So yeah, that's where we were right, and that is where we were wrong on Wild Card Weekend. So now we're just going to get into the divisional round picks. So first game we got up is first game up today at 1:30 p.m. Pacific time and 4:30 p.m. East Coast time. We have the Bills versus the Broncos. So my thought process on this game is that the Bills are going to win the game. After what I saw last week, the Broncos have a very, very good defense. Their offense is not bad either. So they're all around not a very bad team. But I just think Josh Allen is about to hit one of these runs where we've seen quarterbacks and teams go on. And this is the moment that he has a chance. The only real advantage, do we have a spread on this game? Let's see, what is the spread? So we have a spread on the game. So Denver's favored by 1.5. So basically, if it was a neutral site, the Bills would be favored by 1.5. So it's a pick 'em game. I just think Josh Allen is going to do more um, when it's needed. If the game is close, I think he's going to do more, and they're going to end up squeaking out a victory. If I had to bet, I would take Bills minus the 1.5, and I'm definitely going to take the over on the total, which is 45.5. And that's because I think the Bills average like 30 points a game, 29, 28, 29 points a game. So yeah, 49ers versus the Seahawks. This is a tough one. Originally, I would have picked the 49ers. I'm not sold on Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold is still the guy that was seeing ghosts, in my opinion. Yes, they did play not too long ago, and they had a hellacious game. They had a couple games, so it wasn't that bad. Let me see exactly when they played. I do think if it comes down to quarterbacks, that Brock Purdy's going to do more. So they played on January 3rd. It was 13-3, and then they played earlier in the season with the 49ers win 17-13. So both games were close. The injury bug is what's going to happen. George Kittle not being there, I don't know if they can do enough against the Seahawks offense. So if I had to gun to my head right now, due to the injuries that the Seahawks have or the Niners have, I'm gonna go ahead and pick the Seahawks. Ultimately, I can see this game going anyway. If we had a healthy George Kittle, I'd probably go with George Kittle. But yeah, I'm gonna go with the Seahawks. Texans and Patriots. This is going to be an amazing game. This right here is going to be both. It's going to be whatever's team's better at wins. So is Drake May going to step up and continue his MVP play? Is the Texans defense going to play like they're the 85 Bears still? So I'm not sure on that one. That one to me is a coin flip. Let me see. What are the spreads? Oh, by the way, Seattle was favored by 7 with 44.5. So with Seattle and I would definitely, I'm not taking the 7. I would take the Niners plus 7. I think Seattle's going to win by like a field goal to 2 field goals. And I'm going to go the under. I wouldn't take the 45.5. I think it's going to be 17-13, 20-13 type of game. So Texans, Patriots. They have New England favored by 3, so it's basically a pick 'em because New England's at home. They have the over under as 40.5. I don't know if they've played each other this year. Let me see. No, no. So if I had to think, the only I think Vrabel's a great coach. I think D'Amico Ryan's a great coach. The only I think Josh McDaniels is going to be the key. I think that's the only thing that the Patriots have right now above the Texans and in coaching. I think Josh McDaniels is going to be a huge key for this team. Josh McDaniels, granted, when he used to do this, he did have Brady, but he's been in this position a lot. Josh McDaniels has faced a lot of top defenses. 18 Broncos, Legion of Boom. He has faced a lot, and and for most of them, he's won. So I think Josh McDaniel's scheme and Mike Vrabel on the defensive side is going to be very well. I think Mike Vrabel does know the Texans a little better because he was in with the Titans. So he does kind of know CJ Stroud and has played against him a couple times. So gun to my head, I'm going Patriots due to coaching. Rams versus the Bears. I think the Rams should win. I don't think the Bears should have won last week. I think the Green Bay should continue to beat them. I think if the Rams get a lead on the Bears, they're not gonna give it up. And so I can't say I think this is gonna be an easy game. The spread is LA 4.5. So if they were on a neutral site, it'd be 7. 48.5 is the over under. Did they play this year? No, they did not. They did not play. So I think Matthew Stafford's gonna have a better. I think Matthew Stafford's gonna outplay Caleb Williams. I don't. I think he's going to outplay him for the full game. I did hear Ryan Clark talking to Cam Newton and Stephen A. Smith, and they were talking about how it's not if you outplay the other quarterback, it's when you outplay the other quarterback. And Caleb Williams outplayed him in the fourth quarter. I know. I just think they got lucky. I think the Packers give up leads. Matt LaFleur gives up leads, and I think they just got lucky. I don't think this is going to happen against the Rams. I think the Rams will be able to hold them off. Good defense. I think this is going to be probably if I had to pick, I would get the Rams 4.5 because I think they're going to win by a touchdown. I don't know if I would go with the 48. I'm not sure about that. Let me see. Let me see. Ooh, that's tough. 48, 45. I'd probably go under. I'd probably say it's going to be like a 40-point game. So I'm going to take the Rams. And then I'll also write down what I took. Bills plus 1.5, above over 45. Seahawks, no. Oh, I would take the 49ers minus a 7, but I think the Seahawks are going to win. And I think it's going to be under the 30 or under 44. Patriots and Texans, I take the Patriots minus the 3. And I think this is going to be over 40.5. And then Rams Bears, I would take the Rams minus the 4.5, and I think it's going to be under the 48. All right. Broncos versus Bears for the championship. Interesting. Good one. Is it baseball season yet? No, it's not baseball season yet. Didn't somebody just get signed? The Dodgers are messing up the whole entire baseball season. They are messing this up completely. Okay. Those are my picks for the divisional round. So I'm gonna get in some head coaching vacancies. So right now, it looks like John Harbaugh is basically signed for the Giants. Looks like it's going to be John Harbaugh and John Harbaugh and the Giants. So we're gonna have to. So yeah, it looks like John Harbaugh, unless something happens. I was reading yesterday that basically the deal is done. I also love how people talk about they love to talk about the dinner, how he went to a restaurant and the chef prepared like a 4 or 5 different options for the thing. They were going to help them close the deal for the Giants and help them close the deal. That would be awesome. I don't think a restaurant has that much influence into closing a deal. I know that would not be my influence. I would not really care if the restaurant cook great food or not. It's New York. There's hundreds of restaurants. But I just thought that was kind of a cool story. So John Harbaugh with the Giants. What do I think? The rumor is he's got a 5-year deal. Okay, so that's going to be pretty cool. Dude, ESPN sucks. So let's see. Giants. Where's the Giants? Do I think that's going to change the team? Yes. I think having him is going to be huge. Very, very big for the Giants. We've seen him work with 2 different types of quarterbacks. So we've seen him work with Lamar Jackson and we've seen him work with Joe Flacco. And that's what I mean by 2 different types of quarterbacks. So he had an in the pocket quarterback and he had a dual threat quarterback. So I think he has shown that he can adapt his offense and his style to fit the either style player. And Jackson Dart is not really a pocket passer, but he's not really he's a mobile quarterback, but he's not Lamar. So I think he's going to do wonders for him. I also think that he's going to help out a lot with the run game and the defense. Let's see who his coordinators are, because there's reports that Monk from Baltimore is going to follow him. So I think that's a very good hire, as long as they give him time. Do I think the Giants are going to turn it around next year? No. They're going to be better. I think we're going to see something like kind of like the Chargers. Basically, I think we'll have, where was Jim Harbaugh at? Yeah. So I can't say like the Chargers, because the Chargers immediately went to the playoffs. I don't know. I think it's going to take a couple years though. I think I think next year it's going to be the base of him instituting his philosophy and his culture. I think we do see them get better because they weren't a bad team. I think a lot of it does depend on how healthy Malik Neighbors and Cam Scatterboo comes back, but I think they do get better. Not sure if they win the division or if they make the playoffs, but they'll probably be in contention for them. And then the second year, I think that's probably when they make the playoffs. Third year, they get a lot more. They get a lot better. Of course, this depends on health and everything, but I think overall the Giants hiring John Harbaugh was a very, very good hire. I think that was a good pick for John Harbaugh as well. I like him better than the Titans. The only other job I think would have been a better selection may have been the Falcons, just due to all of their talent. but I did like that pick up a lot. So I think that's a very, very good fit for John Harbaugh. Uh, Other head coaching vacancies that we have. Let's see what else we have. So last week on the podcast, I was talking about the Baltimore Ravens and the head coaching vacancy and how I did not have that as the number one option. And I got a little flustered, and I apologize for that. But what I was basically trying to say was not just that you have to have a great offensive mind and a great offensive minded head coach. You're also expected to win immediately. That's kind of why I don't have the Ravens at the top of my list. I know a lot of people have them as the number one list. They do have a good quarterback. They have some very good weapons, but there's a lot of things over the last couple years that we have seen in the Ravens that just don't make me think it's the number one job. They have a little bit more work than I think some people think about. We got to figure out, if I'm not mistaken, you're going to have Derrick Henry. So you're going to have to figure out your wide receivers. Isaiah Likely's a free agent. What's going to happen with the Mark Andrews? That defense is nowhere near as good as the defense used to be. And you're going to be in a very tough division. So basically, with the Ravens, I would say right now, I would say that's in the middle of the pack of the jobs. Of course, I think it's better, and that's just also because of the pressure. The you're expected to win soon with the Ravens. On the positive side, the Ravens head coaching, they've given you some pretty good head coaches. In the last 20 years, I think they've only had two. They had Bellick and they had Harbaugh. So you're gonna get, as long as you produce, you're gonna get some time. You're gonna get, yeah, they've had three head coaches since they became the Baltimore Ravens. But Brian Billick started in 1999 and left in 2007. And then John Harbaugh was from 2008 till 2025. And before that, they had a guy named Ted who was there for 3 years. So I think you're going to have some stability with the Ravens, but I just think it's one of those things that you're expected to win right away. So you need to make sure that your offensive coordinator and your defensive coordinator and everybody is on the same page. I know that I've seen a lot of interviews. Now, if it was somebody like me, I know I saw the Mike McDaniel interviewing for the head coaching position for the Ravens. I think Mike McDaniel would be an awesome offensive coordinator for Lamar Jackson. So if you could bring in Mike McDaniel as an offensive coordinator and bring in a good head coach, I think that would be very, very good. But again, it's just the pressure of the Ravens. Steelers, since the Steelers have been, me and Sam said this last week, we didn't think any of the playoff head coaches were going to lose their job. Granted, Mike Tomlin did not. He walked away. But I think the Steelers is a uniquely attractive option. Um, I'm gonna put that up there. I'd put that up there right around the Ravens. I think the Ravens is a better option than the Steelers. Um, Thing with the Steelers is they've had 3 or 4 coaches my entire lifetime. So Noel, Cower, Tomlin. So they've had 3 coaches. Everybody likes to talk about their stability and how they're gonna let you. They're gonna let you coach. So they're gonna let you have some time to build your culture, put your offense and your defense and your schemes in place. You're going to easily get 3 to 5 years. I'm not so sure about that in today's NFL. I think that with Cower and Mike Tomlin, both of them won very quickly. Hold on. Okay, go ahead. Here you go. There you go. So I think with Tomlin and Cower, both of them won very, very quickly. And then continued to win even though regular seasons, even though they didn't go to playoffs. I'm not sure if you get a Steelers head coach that comes in and for 2 to 3 years is under 500, maybe a 4-13 record, maybe a 6-11 record. I don't know if he gets capped. So again, with the Steelers, you're also expected to win. So that's why I think that the Ravens Ravens are higher than the Steelers because they have more pieces. But the Steelers, you're expected to win. You're going to need a quarterback. That's going to be your number one thing. But other than that, they're not a bad team. Not bad of a team at all. So I don't know who I think would be a good fit for the Steelers. Um, Depends on what they want to go with. Do they want to go offensive minded? But you don't have a quarterback and you really don't have a great draft pick. So there's going to be some work done there. Tennessee Titans. I know I've seen a lot of head coaching opportunities with them. I'm not so sold on them. I don't think this is the greatest. I think there's a lot of issues in there. I also think their division is getting better, which with the Titans, the Colts were doing good until Daniel Jones went down, and you got two teams that are in the playoffs with the Houston Texans and the Jaguars. So they are the worst team in that division. I think they're going to continue to be the worst team. I did see flashes of Cam Ward, but I didn't watch a lot of them. So yeah, I don't. This is a tough pick, and I don't know how much time you're going to get. I mean, they fucking fired Mike Vrabel, and he won. So yeah, I'm not very sold on them. Overall, I like my favorite positions were um, the Falcons. Overall, that's my favorite position. I like the Falcons, I like the Giants, and I like this pains me to say this, but I like the Raiders. So I would put the Falcons and the Giants ahead of the Ravens. I would put the Ravens, Steelers ahead of the Raiders. Basically, with the Raiders, I think the Raiders is a very, very good position. They have the number one overall pick. I don't know how good Mendoza is going to be, and because Dante Moore decided to go back to Oregon, so that kind of scares me a little bit because if you pick him and he's not what you want as a coach, you're not going to get a lot of you might not have a job very fast. What's up, Cartman? What's up, buddy? Yeah, kind of. I don't know what's going on today, but it's okay. I'm still here. I love talking sports, so I will talk sports by myself sometimes. Hope everybody comes back next week, but I'm not sure what's going on. By the way, if you haven't I'll show you guys real quick. If you have not caught our series, um, me and Sam have a college football 26 video game series going on where we both created a dynasty. He has Video Game University. I have Vegas Benchwarmers University. And we are playing. We took cupcake teams, made created a couple players on each side, and we're having fun. So if you haven't checked that out, go ahead and check that out. I have two videos up. My videos came out on Wednesday and Friday. So I have week 0 and week 1. I played UNLV the first week and Nevada the second week. Sam has two videos that are up as well. No, he has one. He has one video that's up, and then he has a video that's scheduled to come out on Monday. So he has one video up on this from the 16th where he plays an FCS team. So if you haven't checked that out, please do go check that out. Let me see. Those are both live on our channels right now. What the hell was I talking about? I lost my picture. Oh, Raiders. So I'm not sure about the Mendoza kid. Yes, he could be great, but we've seen if he's not great as a coach, and you pick him number one, and you guys don't do good for a couple years, you're probably gone. Also, the Raiders have no problem firing head coaches. We've seen them fire everybody. So they have a lot of holes that they can fill. And that's what I think. I think having that number one pick gives them a lot of room. Yeah, I kind of, you know what? I don't know enough about college to see that, but that's kind of my thinking. What's up, beautiful bearded bastards? I wish my beard was as beautiful as your bastards. I can't wait for the games this weekend. No, I can't wait for the playoff games at all. I think we're gonna have some really, really good and exciting games. Overall, I'm very happy with this playoffs. I see Matt Liner 2.0. I definitely could see that. I definitely could see that. It's very hard, but again, my thing with Matt with let me see. Let me slow down before I start talking. Okay. So, yes, I can see that, but I also think the NFL has dumbed down their offenses since Matt Leinart was here. Thank you, buddy. Thank you for being nice. I appreciate that. Since Matt Leinart was here, I think that the NFL has the head coaches have dumbed down a lot of the offenses. We talked about this a couple weeks ago, where they're not reading as many defenses. They're going, if this guy's not open, this guy go to this guy, hit the check down. So I think that could happen, where he could be that. But if he gets in the right system, he might be halfway decent. I just don't think he's the game changer. He could be an above average quarterback. He could be a Dak Prescott type person where, yeah, he wins games, he puts up stats, but he doesn't. He's when it comes down to the playoffs, it's not. Granted, we could say that's Dallas or whatever, but yeah, just in stats, I can see him having that type of stature. Not saying he's going to run around like him, but I could definitely see him putting up numbers. But I don't think when it comes down to the nitty gritty, he's going to be a game changer. So but I do like the Raiders. Also, if I was the Raiders head coach, I've said this multiple times, I'm trading that pick. I do not 100 unless if you don't think that Mendoza is your lifesaver, you have way too many holes. Way too many holes. So I would definitely trade that pick if I was not 100% sold on them. And that's where I think the Raiders get interesting with who wants to move up. If they can trade that and get a couple nice picks, get a haul for what the Panthers got, what the Bears got for Bryce Young, they can get something like that because there's not many great. Then I definitely think that puts them a lot higher up. Other head coaching vacancies that I don't really care about, the Cardinals. Who cares? Nobody cares about the Cardinals. I don't think besides Cardinals fans. The Browns, yeah, okay. The Dolphins, I don't. Tua. So right now, I don't think. I think we're gonna have. I have the app from Bleacher Report. Shut up. I think we're gonna have a lot of waiting until the Ravens head coach falls, and then maybe the Steelers. I don't think teams are gonna wait on them, but John Harbaugh's already fell. So now you're gonna see people start to pick up. I think the Ravens go next, and I really want to see who the Falcons get. Really would like to see who the Falcons get. That honestly, I think that's a good pickup for the Falcons. Um, I don't like what Stefanski did with the I don't like what happened last year with Stefanski at all. I don't like how he treated Shador. I don't like how he treated Dylan Gabriel. I don't like any of that last season coaching. But at the same time, I also kind of think he fucking gave up. So I think that he went into the season with Joe Flacco, and I think towards some point in time in that season, or at the beginning of the season, or in the offseason, he knew this was his last year with the Browns, and that just seemed like a coach that didn't give a fuck. So I think he might have been trying to do everything he possibly could have to get fired. Shador, yeah. So yes and no. I've talked about this with my dad when I was talking about some of the NBA players. Um, we come from a different time frame. I do. I'm 43. I'm about to be 44. I think some of the people that watch us are in their mid 30s, right? We come from a way different time frame. There was a time frame where a coach would have set you on the bench and gave you that type of treatment, and you would have busted your ass to make him eat those words. This generation of athletes and this generation of kids, I don't think are the same. I think a lot of them have been coddled. I'm not saying every single one, but a majority of them have been coddled and through school, coaching, parents, everything. Not blaming this on one in particular person. I just think it's a society that we live in, and they don't have that fuck it in their system like we used to. So Shador, I don't think Shador is 100% ass, but I think he was not the coach for Shador. If Shador needs a coach that's gonna coddle him, besides his dad, which his dad can say everything he wants to him, but I guess all the other coaches probably coddled him. So I kind of think they were not meant to mesh together because you didn't have a problem with Dilly and Gabriel. They were just not meant to mesh together because Stefanski was fucking done. Guy had a 500 season, got his number retired, spent hundreds of thousands on a movie, set for his draft just to be embarrassed. It all shows hype, talk, and snake oil. Yeah, but that's everybody though. Do we not remember Will Levis? Do we not remember a lot of people that have all this hype and talk? I think Shador is better than a lot of people think he is. Do I think he's a superstar? No, by any means, no. But I think he's an above average quarterback. I don't think he's going to be an all pro. He may have 1 or 2 seasons, but with the right system and the right coach, which that's almost everybody, I think he could thrive. He's shown me some things that I really thought were interesting. So I think 100% he could thrive. Question: did you think that about Sam Darnold a couple years ago? I mean, a couple years ago, Sam Darnold was seeing fucking ghosts. Do I trust Sam Darnold? No. But we have seen Sam Darnold move from a horrible fucking organization, go to another horrible organization, which was the Panthers, set as a backup somewhere, and then the motherfucker started playing well. Sometimes you just need better coaches and better organizations. So yeah, I don't think he's great, but I think he's better than Zach Wilson. This is what I'm saying about Shador. I'm saying exactly the same thing you're saying about Darnold. I'm saying Shador got screwed in his first season in Cleveland. I'm not saying Shador was great, but I have seen flashes to make me think Shador can be an average to above average quarterback. He's not booty cheeks all along. Not booty cheeks all along. I mean, everybody has their opinion. He's not great. We're not calling him Tom Brady or any of that shit, but he'll have some good seasons. He'll have some really, really good seasons. I don't really talk much about baseball, but I do want to talk about this Kyle Tucker thing. Kyle Tucker was, I guess, the top free agent in baseball. This did come across my screen, my notification, and the Dodgers signed him. So I saw a tweet of the Dodgers payroll, and I just want to know what the community thinks, what the chats think. What do people think about what's going on with the Dodgers? Because here, let me show you. Let me tell you exactly what it is. I'm going to show you because I don't know if I'll get copyright for it. Okay, so as of right now, guaranteed salary for the 2026 season for the Dodgers is $2,114,037,500. So 2.1 billion. The next highest payroll is 1.2. The next highest payroll after that, so it's 1.26, then 1.25. San Diego, Toronto, and then the Mets, which is 1.1. You don't have another team over a million or over $1 billion. The next teams are 865 million, 789 million, 670 million. Of course, some of this can change. Oh, this was Chicago. Sorry, that was the American League. Yeah, but the Dodgers. So I know they don't have a salary cap. I just don't get how this works. How is it that you can have a team that has that much fucking salary? And I know it's with revenue sharing and all this other stuff, but we talk about the NBA and how the NBA is getting crazy and their salaries are getting crazy. I heard a stat that in a couple years you may be paying a player $80 million to play in the NBA. Now, if some of these players were taking discounts, that would make sense. But I heard somebody offered Tucker 220 and the fucking Dodgers offered him 240 with an option. So That just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I don't know much about it. I was hoping Sam would be on here so he could tell me more about it, but I don't know what's going on. I have no clue what's going on with that. So, oh, boxing, boxing. Last thing I'm gonna talk about, we have Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson fighting on January 31st, right? Um, I've been watching some of their stuff. It's getting down. There's what, 2 weeks left? 2 weeks left. So I've been watching their face-offs and everything. If you have not watched their face-offs, just Google, just YouTube, Lopez and Shakur. Teofimo Lopez is fucking amazing. He is one of the funniest um, people I've ever seen do interviews and press conferences. Every single one is fucking different. Sometimes he comes with a mask. He always has a plan when he goes up there. This time, he's literally just acting like nonchalant. They asked Shakur, he's like, how you gonna beat him? I'm gonna beat him. You'll find out on so-and-so. So it looks like he's fucking with him. Shakur even tried to call him out on something. And Shakur was like, hey, that's not what you said last time. You said I can't move up and weight. And he said, who's also racist? And he said, and TFO was like, when did I say that? Like 5 years ago? He's like, yeah, but that was at the time. So like Shakur tried to come up with some shit trying to basically call him out, and Teofimo had a great response to it. And when he had an amazing response to the basically saying, yeah, I said that, but that was 5 to 6 years ago. So that at that point in time, I think you were fighting at 125. So yeah, now it's a totally different story. So they do fight. For people that don't know, these are two boxers that are fighting in their prime. Like these are two of the top two fighters in their weight class. Teofimo Lopez is 22 wins with one loss. His only loss coming, I think it was to Cambosis. And Shakur is 24 and 0, 11K, 13 to 11 KO. So it's not going to be it's probably not going to be a knockout fight, but it's going to be a very technical fight. They're both defensive fighters and counterpunchers. It is for the WBO World and Super and Ring Magazine Super Lightweight title. So I think it's going to be an amazing clash. As of right now, I'm going to pick Teofimo Lopez to go ahead and put those hands on Shakur Stevenson. But I'm definitely seeing it. Let me know if you guys want us to live stream. Well, I don't know where it's at. I'm not gonna lie, because if it's on the zone, so I'm not fucking live streaming that. I'm not paying for the zone to live stream that fight. Yeah. So I'm not 100% positive. This is gonna be a short podcast because I was the only one on. I got to say everything I wanted to say. Trying to think, is there anything else that I should talk about? I mean, there's been wrestling, WWE. Haven't really enjoyed it much, even though I've been watching it. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I think I'm gonna go ahead and get off. Make that the end of the podcast. Make sure you guys do tune in for our. What am I doing? Share screen. Make sure you tune in for our college football. So here it is right here. College Football Dynasty 26, College Football Dynasty Week 0. I play UNLV. I play Nevada. I play Ohio State. That will be coming out on Monday. They're ranked number 4. Then I play BYU, who is ranked number 22. That will be coming out on Wednesday. And then I have another one that will be coming out on Friday. When Sam and I do play each other, because we're in the same division, we will live stream it. Let me see if I can find Sam's thing. That's not it. I went to his old one. All right. So, and here is his video. So make sure you check this out. This is Done Deals at Kelderock. That's his. And yeah, other than that, I hope everybody has a good weekend. Enjoy the NFL games. Make sure you follow us on Twitter because I will be posting on that. And like Jeremy would normally say, put me in, coach. Peace.